Last week a new colleague Cathy, 33, started at my, 25, workplace. She instantly stood out in the team, because she seems like someone who is very loud and assertive. Two of my colleagues, me and Cathy, were having coffee in the break room. We were the only ones in there and we were sitting far apart, when the subject of travel was brought up. My colleague said she wasn't booking trips anymore because it'll probably get cancelled because of COVID anyway. Cathy immediately cut in about how sad she is because she travels so often and she goes on these far exotic trips to Europe as her hobby. When I think exotic, I think the Bahamas or something instead of Europe, but cool. Cathy then jokes about how all this no-travel business is making her fear that she'll lose some of her foreign language skills. I asked what languages she spoke. She claimed to be fluent in 3 European languages, among which were French and Dutch. Cathy said she was at a native speaker level and went on about how people in Europe were always surprised when they found out she wasn't from there. I was excited, because I never get to speak Dutch over here. I was raised in Belgium, which has 3 national languages, French and Dutch, which are my mother tongues and the most commonly spoken there, and German. It's quite common to be pretty fluent in at least 2 out of the 3 languages in Belgium, because you're required to learn them at school, along with English, from a young age. I told Cathy, "Oh fun, we have something in common then." She immediately pulled this sour face and asked me if that was supposed to be Dutch. I said yes. She laughed awkwardly and said she couldn't understand because I have a terrible accent and must not be that good at speaking it. Now see, I don't have an accent. I speak Dutch more fluently than I speak English. I told Cathy that I grew up speaking Dutch and speak it to my family all the time. She got miffed and asked what languages I speak and where I'm from. I told her I'm from Belgium, so I also speak French, and I added what you just said you speak as well. Cool. We can speak French instead. I acknowledged that I was a bit of an idiot here, because by that point I knew she probably lied about speaking French as well. She then shoved her chair back and angrily got up, said whatever and stomped off. It was awkward. My other colleagues just kinda shrugged and said she shouldn't have lied. However, she later approached me and told me I embarrassed her by acting superior about my European heritage. I told her there was no way for me to know she'd lied about speaking those languages. She rolled her eyes and told me I was immature. A colleague told me that Cathy had called me a little b-word who enjoys bullying new colleagues behind my back later. I don't think I was a bully at all, but I don't want this to turn into a huge thing. Do I just apologize to keep the peace? Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. She deserved that to happen to her. Don't brag about skills you don't actually have. And then for to say that you had a terrible accent is beyond the pale. She owes you an apology, not the other way around. And several at that. She's the one who is acting like a bully. A well-meaning person would have said after your correction that you were born in Belgium, "Well, I guess I have to work on it then, still a bit rusty. Can you slow it down for me?" Not the idiot, but I would give your manager a heads up about this. In a hey, I'm not asking for you to do anything, but this happened and I thought you should know kinda way. Brand new employees, who don't know the lay of the land yet, feeling comfortable enough to call established employees vulgar names and start drama are trouble. I have yet to see someone start at a new company and immediately start crap not turn out to cause a lot of trouble and headache before they get booted. She's old enough for this not to be her being ignorant of professional and workplace norms. Update. Many people gave the advice to go to HR, others said not to go to HR because that would be escalating the situation. I decided not to go to HR right then, but I did take the advice to write down what happened, with the time and the names of the other colleagues present just in case. I thought the situation might blow over, because Cathy was probably just embarrassed. Well, I was wrong. Cathy kept being cold to me, rolling her eyes at me in meetings and talking behind my back. Another colleague came to confront me at one point to ask me why I'd been so mean. Apparently Cathy was telling a different version of what happened. Cathy said that I'd said mean things to her in Dutch and was making fun of her in Dutch, so no one else but her could understand. She was smart enough to only tell these stories to colleagues who weren't actually there for it. Word got around and it turned into a bigger issue, with a couple people actually questioning my character, mostly just colleagues that don't work very close to me. HR got wind of it after a while and I got called in close to a month after the incident. They had already met with Cathy and she'd told them that she cursed me out in Dutch and was very mean to me story. I told them the full story and everything that happened after. They asked me if there was anyone else present who could confirm this, so those colleagues came and told them that Cathy had lied about speaking a language, stormed out and then started calling me a B-word, etc. To others. They thanked me for my time and I got on with work. Nothing happened until a week later when I was informed that Cathy was asked to leave. Apparently Cathy had doubled down on the lies and told everyone I was the one lying, and she did speak those languages, so my boss told her in that case she'd have no problem talking to one of our Canadian colleagues, who wasn't involved in the situation, in French in front of him, just to confirm. At this point Cathy admitted she had been lying. It turned out she didn't speak a word of French either, or Norwegian, which was the third language she was lying about. This was enough for them to let her go, because part of the reason they hired her was that they were so impressed by her speaking multiple languages and work experiences she'd had abroad. The work experiences were made up as well. I'm just happy it's over. I'm confident it wasn't really my fault it blew up now. If it wasn't me who caught her in a lie, someone else probably would have down the line. The few people who kind of believed her ended up coming to me and apologizing for questioning me about what happened, so that's all sorted. I remember reading your post. To be honest, as a Dutch person you can still converse with a Belgian who speak Belgian Dutch. Seriously, it sounds a bit different since they use different sometimes, however sentence will still be easily heard if she didn't lie. My friends aren't from Belgium, but some live in the south near the Belgium border. Their accent, way of speaking sounds sort of like Belgian. As long they don't use the dialect it is easy to understand. Anyway, good for you. The boss is a good one as he didn't use someone who was there. It was her own fault for lying and making it even bigger. Thanks for the update. I think you were right not to immediately go to HR, but from your description of this deeply unpleasant person, it seemed very unlikely that she would just let it go. So I'm glad it worked out. I hope you don't feel guilty. Cathy is 100% responsible for what has happened to her. I find it really shocking that she lied about being able to speak 3 languages, including French, which many people in North America speak, and expected to get away with it. Perhaps she's a compulsive liar? Anyway, maybe this will be a wake-up call for her. I'm 36 and my sister and brother are 34 and 37, respectively. They each have 3 children. I have none and never want any. I like being able to travel, spend my money on myself, my pets and charities I support, and I don't want to ruin my personal life. However, my siblings and my parents act like I'm the most selfish person who ever lived, because I don't want to experience the magic of motherhood. They call me selfish even though I've helped out both of my siblings financially on several occasions and never asked for the money back. My family keeps saying ridiculous things like your boyfriend will leave you if you don't give him a child. When I tell them he's child-free too and if he wanted kids I'd let him go, they usually respond with you'll end up alone when you're old. This, I think, is particularly scummy. Children should not be seen as a retirement plan. If you have a kid just so you can use him, her in your old age, then you're the selfish one. When I tell them this, they just say that I don't know what I'm talking about. It had gotten to the point that I stopped visiting my parents and didn't talk to my siblings for nearly a year. But the other day, my sister called and told me she was inviting family over for her daughter's 3rd birthday. Lockdown rules have been relaxed in our area, and she would love it if I would be there. I told her I wasn't sure, since anytime I'm in their proximity, they gang up on me and attack my lifestyle choices. She assured me that my personal life would not be brought up. So I went over to her house with a gift for the birthday girl. All was fine, at first. Then, it happened. My mom commented that I'd make a good mother if only you'd give motherhood a chance. I stared daggers at my mom, then gave my sister a quizzical look. She looked a bit embarrassed, but then she said, "We just want what's best for you. You should probably spend more time with our kids. I'm sure that if you do, you'll change your mind." A lot of people say they don't want kids, but then they change their minds when they see how wonderful kids are. I was freaking pissed and decided to just give them a taste of their own medicine. I said, a lot of people think they want kids, but then they begin regretting their own kids. So, I don't know, you guys may stop loving your kids someday and resent them for draining your resources. My sil gasped. Then I left without saying another word. Since then, my parents and relatives have been bombarding me with angry texts and calls telling I should apologize for saying such a horrible thing. I told them they were freaking hypocrites as they insult my life choices but can't take it when I insult theirs. Tell me, am I an idiot? I wonder if the reason that they're so pushy, and getting so defensive, is that there's a bit of truth to your comment. In my experience, parents who are pushy about this sort of crap are generally kind of unhappy and need others to validate their choices. I adore my kids, but I'm the first to tell people that they're a lot of work, and you should really be 110% sure you're willing to make the sacrifices before you have them. As long as what you said wasn't around small ears, not the idiot. My sperm donor will be alone. Unless the addicted child he is wants to be around him. He hated me. With a burning passion that should have never been shown to a child. I hate him back, so it's cool. My children are Liv's my husband and I brought into the world. But they are not there for my retirement. Those type of people are, as you said, selfish. Also, kids ain't for everyone. And anyone who thinks if they would just spend time around my kids, they are delusional. Nothing shuts that down better than someone else's children. They're just upset their life has no meaning besides their children. I hate when people have children and just lose themselves completely. Who are you? They don't even know. It's sad. A lot people have children that shouldn't, and the children only suffer for it. It's financially and emotionally difficult, and people who have children are less happy. Not everyone wants to be a parent. You want to live your own life and do what you want. Who freaking cares if you're selfish? What's so bad about that anyway? I, 15, live with my mom, 33, and stepfather, 55. My stepfather, we'll call him Dave, married my mom a year ago and is not someone I get along with. He's much older than my mom by 20 years and creeps me out. Well, a week ago my mom told me and my brother, 16, she's pregnant. Apparently she's 4 months along. Neither of us were happy about it because we both don't like babies/kids, and it came as a shock since we're both in high school. To make it worse, my mom told me the baby would be sharing my room. I was upset about that, but figured the baby would at least be in Dave and my mom's bedroom for the first few months, but I was wrong because they meant as soon as it's born. Her reasoning was because Dave can't be woken up because he works long hours during the day and it would be easier since I'm in high school, and in Dave's words, I'm a girl so it'll be like practice when I have my own kids, which does not make any sense to me. I was livid. When I was 7 or 8, I had a best friend with a newborn brother who had colic. And that baby screamed the house down at all hours of the day and night. I'm not about to deal with having a screaming baby keeping me up all night in my room with dirty diapers with no privacy. Me and my mom got into a huge fight and I ended up calling my dad telling him the situation. He sided with me and came to get me the next day. She wasn't happy when I left and blew up my phone telling me I'm selfish, how I should be happy to have a new family member, that I'm obligated to help them out with the baby when it comes, etc. My dad and stepmom told me I could live with them full time, which I would honestly love because their house is really cool, they own a ranch, and they've always been super down to earth. They live 3 hours away, so I'd have to switch schools, but I'm honestly fine with that. As for my brother, he wants to come live with our dad too because he doesn't want to live with a baby. My mom is very angry with me and keeps blowing up my phone, but I haven't spoken to her. I could hear her and my dad arguing over the phone about me. I love my mom, but since Dave, she always sides with him. He's so misogynistic and creepy, and the fact that he impregnated her and expects me to be a second mom to their baby is ridiculous. My brother said she's been crying a lot, and keeps trying to convince me to come back and makes me feel guilty. A few of my other family members on Dave's side are also saying that I'm selfish and a bad sister/daughter for making my mom so upset. I feel bad, but I just don't think I could room with a newborn baby. Am I the idiot? Not the idiot. Please live with your dad full time. Trust your gut about your stepfather being creepy and do not let your other guilt you into being a second parent. I bet she knows she won't get any help from your stepfather and is trying to pass the obligation on to you. This is not okay on any level. Not to mention, a teenage girl should not be sharing a room with an infant. If she continues to harass you, block her number and only talk to her through your father. I was about to write that you're the idiot until the part about the baby rooming with you came up. Definitely not the idiot. You being well rested for school is just as important as Dave the idiot being well rested for work. Had you wanted to move out just because your mom was having a baby, then that would be kind of idiocy, but expecting you to share a room so that they can sleep is unbelievable. I think karma is going to hit them like a rock. Not the idiot. With you and yours brother gone, their plan to have you raise that child while they do whatever is gone. Now they're going to have to actually be parents? How weird is that? Dave sounds extremely creepy and probably wanted control of you too. It seems he's using you as a side piece without the favors. I'm so happy you got out of there. You will never be an idiot for leaving that situation. Do not ever feel guilty. Her crying is bullcrap guilt. Her plans are ruined because she didn't think you'd actually stand up for yourself. I'm proud of you. My husband has an obsession with TikTok. He's 40 by the way, not 14. He takes his phone to the bathroom and will spend ages just mindlessly scrolling. We have 2 young kids and I think he just does it for some peace. But it means I'm constantly having to go and knock on the door. Are you okay? Are you going to be long? Will you come and help with the tiny humans? It's a pita. I was making a full roast dinner and saw him heading off upstairs. I said it'll be ready in 20 minutes, don't be long. Set the table, finished cooking, plated up, got the kids to the table and just thought I'm not going to seek him, this is ridiculous. I 100% wanted to see how long it would take him to come out on his own. 2 hours and 10 minutes. In that time we had finished the meal, I had cleaned the kitchen and the floor, done the dishes and done a load of laundry, and the kids were halfway through a film. He came down and yelled at me that I should have told him the meal was ready. I told him I'm not his mother and it's not my job to go and seek him. He stormed out saying he's not eating his meal now as roast dinners are rubbish heated in the microwave and this is all my fault and I am the idiot. Not the idiot. He was on a device that tells you the time and comes equipped with an alarm, for goodness sake. This may have been a bit passive aggressive, but it sounds like you're understandably at the end of your rope. The two of you need to have a serious discussion about how his obsession is impacting your family. I'm imagining a 40-year-old guy with his pants down, done pooping 1 hour and 45 minutes ago, but still sitting on a toilet with his pants down, hunched over, in a total intentional escape from his reality, which includes a great woman and 2 beautiful young kids. To my eyes, absolutely no different than someone in the bathroom shooting heroin and nodding out for 2 hours, with life happening outside the bathroom. It's sad for everyone, pathetic and unacceptable.